Welcome to the module on challenges in flexible payment. In the previous modules, we have discussed about the challenges in selection of bitumen, challenges in paving operations, and so on. And in this particular module, we will be discussing about the challenges in defining the MR value in the specifications. Challenges in flexible payment. We have already discussed about the challenges in selection of payment, challenges in mix design of the asphalt mixes, and also the challenges we faced during the paving operation. In the today's module, we will be discussing about the challenges one can face because of the MR value designated in the design of the flexible payments. What is resilient modulus? Resilient modulus is a fundamental property used to characterize the unbound pavement materials. It is a measure of a material stiffness and provides a means to analyze stiffness of material under different conditions such as moisture, density, and stress levels. Resilient modulus can be defined shortly as the elastic modulus of a material under repeated loads. Being performed under repetitive loading, the resilient modulus better represents the pavement behavior under the traffic loads and three-dimensional state of stress. New approach, however, in pavement design is mechanistic or empirical methods in which the response of the pavement defined in terms of stress and strain in a release using rigorous theories of mechanics and critical response quantities are then related empirically to the pavement performance. Now, talking about the application of the resilient modulus. Resilient modulus is the elasticity modulus of a material under repeated loads and is a measure of distribution of load throughout the pavement layers. Resilient modulus also controls the fatigue cracks caused by the tensile stresses at the bottom of the asphalt concrete layers and a permanent deformation throughout the pavement. The resilient modulus under the uniaxial dynamic loading in general is the ratio of the maximum stress to the maximum unit deformation. The pavement materials are normally not elastic. Each load repetition produces a small amount of plastic or permanent deformation. But if the traffic load is less than the strength of the materials after a certain number of load repetitions, the deformation in each repetition is almost completely recoverable, proportional to the load, and can be considered as elastic. So coming to the MR value consideration in the design, if you see, like generally the roads are designed based on IRC 37, the latest code. And when we see the flexible pavement design based on IRC 37 2017, it uses the software IIT Pave also, and basically the layers are being designed as a 3-layer system or a 2-layer system and so on, in which the topmost layer is the asphaltic layer and the MR value is designated for each type of layers, like whether it is a subgrade, you will define some MR value for the subgrade. Then you have subbase, which is a combination of WMM and GSB. The MR value is given for that particular value, and then you have designated the top layer, which is the asphaltic layer, and a designated value is given for the asphaltic layer. Now, depending upon the MR value of the asphalt layer, the thickness of the crust changes, and it is the MR value is given for the complete asphalt layer. But in actual practical conditions, the asphalt layer is further divided into two sub-layers, which is DBM and BC, and both the layers are being designed separately, are being constructed separately, and have a different bituminous content and the particle size distribution. So the problem or the challenge in the IRC 37 2017 mix design is when we are designing the top layer or the layer 3 with a certain MR value, say 2500 or 3000 MPa for asphaltic layer, then how are we distributing that MR value into the sub activities, which is basically DBM and BC. So what MR value one can expect from DBM when the road is designed for 2500 MR value, and what MR value for one can expect from BC. So this is becoming a challenge as far as the constructability of the road is concerned. If you look at the cross section, if you look at the flexible pavement cross section, it is generally consists of a 3-layer system. That is, first layer is the subgrade, which is of say 500 millimeter thick. Second layer is a combination of GSB and WMM, and the third layer is a DBM and BC. GSB can be a natural or a mix of aggregates to meet the MOD specifications. WMM is basically a mix of aggregates starting from 40 mm, 40, 20, 10 and dust. So depending upon the grading requirement, the individual grading of 40, 20, 10 and dust, the proportions of the aggregates can be fixed, and a separate mixed design can be initiated for WMM. So these things are already covered in our previous module, which is known as mixed design for WMM. And then comes the asphalt layer, which is again a combination of 2 layers. One is DBM and the second one is BC. Now, when we are designing the road, as it is already discussed, that the roads are being designed in 3-layer components, and the topmost layer is the asphaltic layer, which is again a combination of DBM and BC. Now the issue is when you are designing the top layer as a combination of DBM and BC, and you are giving a single value to in the design for MR point of view, then what is the MR value which is being expected out of the each layer? The problem is, if like subgrade is having a MR value of 66.6 MPa, the layer 2, which is a combination of GSB and WMM, say, is having an MR value of 208. Depending upon the CBR value, the MR value is derived in case of subgrade. And for asphaltic layer, we say that the MR value for the asphaltic layer will be around 3000 rupees, 3000 MPa. The idea is, when we design the road, we normally try to keep the MR value of the asphaltic layer a little high, because depending upon the MR value of the asphalt layer considered, the thickness can be changed, the thickness can be optimized, so that the cost of construction can be benefited or will be at a positive level. But the problem is, when you are assigning a value of 3000 for asphaltic layer, then which layer needs to be tested for the conformance of getting that MR value is a point of challenge. And suppose if you are saying that our DBM, because the thickness of the DBM is more, so if I say that the MR value for DBM should have minimum say 3000, then your BC layer need not have the same value because of change in your bitumen content, change in your particle size distribution. So as a properties, if you see, the MR value increases when your bitumen content decreases and the particle size increases in the mix, and MR value decreases when the bitumen content increases in the mix. So resilient modulus, though it is a inherent property of the mix, but the mix bitumen content will have a vital role to play in order to check the MR value of the material. The aggregate quality is also a concern in order to check the MR values. Better the quality of the aggregate, better will be the MR value of the mixes. But when you have BC and DB both produced from the same aggregate, then because of the additional quantity of bituminous material inside with the same grade, like suppose if you are working on, say, both the mixtures with VG40 like DBM and BC, then probably you need to look for some higher values of MR values, and since the bitumen content is high in BC, you will not be able to achieve 3000 in case of BC. But in order to get the MR value of BC to equivalent to 3000, you need to change the bitumen type. Like instead of going for VG40, you can go for a polymer modified bitumen, which will have a better resilient modulus values for the same thickness. Now this is what is the contract also doesn't specify anything in line with that, and there is no cost impact, though there is a cost impact if you take into consideration, but generally we lag in terms of these values. When the MR value increases, your layer thickness of the asphalt decreases, because MR value will have a direct impact on the optimization of the layer thicknesses, and that is the reason why people generally look for a higher MR value to design the roads. But what if you have designed the road with a higher MR value, but you are not able to achieve that much of MR value in the field? So that is a point of concern, and that is a point of challenge, because in the field you are not treating the asphalt layer as a combination of single layer. So which is basically a combination of DBM and BC, and because of the different properties of DBM and BC, definitely they should have the different MR values, and which is not categorically defined in any of the codal provisions. So to have a close look, like MR value considered is say 3000 for DBM and for BC as the asphalt layer in combination, but DBM mix is tested for MR value because it has a lower content than BC, and if you are able to achieve 3000 for DBM, you will not be able to achieve 3000 for the BC. BC mix can't achieve the same because of the higher bitumen content, and higher bitumen content, as you know, it lowers the MR value for the same source of aggregate or the same type of bitumen or the binder which is being used. Now the challenge is in order to get both the layers of the same MR value, you should do the DBM with one type of binder and the BC for the higher version of binder. Like probably you can go for performance grade bitumens or PMB or modified bitumen in case of BC, because when you are talking about BC, the percentage of bitumen is higher and the particle size is lower. So if you use the same source, definitely you are not going to achieve the required MR value, and if you are not able to achieve the required MR value for both the layers, then what is the point in designing the asphaltic layer as a single layer considering the MR value as 3000? So this is something which is really a point of discussion, and how are we going to distribute the MR value component between the two layers, which is DBM and BC, and how are you going to compensate your MR values between these two so that the average MR value should meet the required designed value of the MR which is being considered during the design stage. So unless until these things have been captured clearly during the construction phase, the performance of the layer which is being constructed as designed on some criteria given for MR, we will not be able to achieve that much of performance. So to conclude, also to summarize this module, like we talked about the definition of MR value, which is the ratio of stress by strain, and the design of the flexible pavements, how the design is being initiated, and what is the principle of the flexible pavement design based on IRC 37, and the MR value of the asphalt considered in the design mixes. The best way is when we are designing the flexible pavement using a 3-layered system and assigning a MR value for the asphaltic layer, then definitely we need to have some variation when we are designing the DBM and the BC. So if you are designing a DBM with VG30, then you should design BC with a higher binder quality, which is VG40. And if you are designing the DBM with VG40, then probably you need to design your BC with a polymer modified bitumen or performance grade bitumen, so that even if there is an increase in the bitumen content based on the requirement given in MOS specification, you will be able to achieve the required resilient modulus values. So that is how the distribution of the MR values can be done in the flexible pavement design. Thank you very much for watching. Do tune in for more updates.